شكرا هديت قلبي شكرا نورت دربي شكرا شكرا يا
I'll tell you more about that scheme in the last part of my khutbah, but I want to tell you what his brothers said. When they heard this, that it's this younger one, he stole, what did they say? They said, قالوا إن يسرق, if he did steal, فقد سرق أخ له من قبل. A brother he used to have long time ago, he used to steal too. They said, oh, he stole? Yeah, he had a brother. Oh, an akhun lahu. It's not akhuhu. If you say akhuhu, this is idafa. And when you make it idafa, it becomes proper, meaning they recognize that brother. They dismiss some brother he had, useless brother. Yeah, he used to steal too. They're talking about Yusuf. To Yusuf. And they don't even know. They don't even know. And so when they said this, فَأَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. These words from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, a lot of you might know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went through the year of sadness, and it was one of the most difficult years in the life of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And to help him deal with his sadness, Allah revealed Surah Yusuf. His uncle had died in that year, they were expelled out of Makkah in that year, there was a year of starvation, there was, Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, there's lots of things happening in the same year. And in that year, Allah gave consolation to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam with the story of Yusuf. And some ulama even went as far as to say, even though Yusuf is of Hebrew origin, it's closest in Arabic to the word asaf, which means sadness. Yusuf alayhi salam, I told you in the beginning of this khutbah, went through a lot. Being kidnapped as a child must be the most traumatic thing. Being thrown into, being abused or being, seduced and then falsely accused and humiliated and being thrown into prison is traumatizing. But you never find Allah Azza wa Jalla saying about Yusuf alayhi salam that he held himself back, that he had to control himself, that it became overwhelming for him. It seems that Yusuf alayhi salam was able to deal with all of these things with ihsan. He was able to deal with all of these things without losing his temperament. He was able to keep his cool through the most impossible situations. But when his own brothers are standing in front of him, and they call their little brother a thief, and then they call him a thief, then Allah says, فَأَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. Then Yusuf had to keep its secret deep inside himself. In other words, he almost exploded in anger. He couldn't take it. Allah never said that before for Yusuf alayhi salam. He said it this time. Why? Because words can hurt more than anything else, even to a prophet. He had to swallow it. Don't underestimate the pain caused by words. The men that are listening to this, the women that are listening to this, when you casually say things like, I wish you weren't my son. When you say things like that, or when you accuse without knowledge, and when you make all kinds of slander, and we think we can get away with it because sometimes people, they may be a taxi driver outside, and they may be working at a shop outside. When they walk into their apartment and their flat, they're Fir'aun. And then they can talk however they want. And they can abuse however they want. Yusuf alayhi salam was in a position of power. He is now the governor. He's now the minister. He can have all these guys arrested right now. He can put them in their place right away. It's one thing to have sabr when you don't have any power, to keep it inside because you're the youngest one. You have no control over the situation. But this is not the situation with Yusuf alayhi salam. He's in the ultimate position of authority. He actually can take revenge right now. Oh, you're going to call me a thief? Do you know who you're talking to? And that's my brother. He actually didn't steal. I put the cup there. What are you going to say now? He could have done all of it. How dare you speak this way? Nope. He swallows it all. فَأَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. But that doesn't mean that Yusuf alayhi salam was not upset. He was deeply upset. He was deeply upset. So much so that in his heart he spoke. And Allah quoted the voice of his heart. And he said, قَالَ أَنْتُمْ شَرٌّ مَكَانًا. You people are even worse now. When you put me in the well, you were bad. You're even worse now. Now you tell me. When they were throwing their brother to kill him. They were killing him. Because if nobody finds him, he's going to die in there. Or he's going to drown, or a snake's going to bite him. You don't know what's going to happen to him. That's the worst thing they could have done. But Yusuf alayhi salam said, this is worse. This is shab. What you did now is worse. Because when you kill someone physically, you've killed their body. But when you attack their character, and you call them a thief, and you humiliate them, and you insult them, then you're killing their soul. You're killing what Allah gave them, their dignity. Don't do that inside of your family. أَنْتُمْ شَرٌّ مَكَانًا. The Arab says, رُبَّ قَوْلٍ أَشَدُّ مِنْ صَوْلٍ. Maybe words are more painful than a beating sometimes. And that's what we're learning here with Yusuf alayhi salam. That pain that's been highlighted. I want you to understand, especially those of you that are the head of the household. Those of you that are the amir of your home. You're in charge of the spouse, the children. Your parents have become old. And from a lot of them, sometimes you hear very painful things. You work so hard and you try to provide, and your son just comes up to you and says, you don't even care about me. You don't even care. Or a wife comes and tells you, I wish you were a good husband. Or something. Now that's the time where there's a raging volcano inside you. And you want to put her in her place. Yeah? You're going to talk to me like that? Let me tell you what's up. And that's the time you and I have to remember, أَسَرَّهَا يُوسُفُ فِي نَفْسِهِ. You have to keep this bottled up. It's okay to be hurt. It's okay. But you're in a position, Allah put you in that position for a reason. Allah Azza wa Jalla put you there for a reason. You have to contain yourself. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he gets upset, and sometimes he did get upset, he has the opportunity to say, and what he says, Allah Azza wa Jalla has already told us, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ مَوْلَاهُ وَجِبْرِيلُ وَصَالِحُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ ظَهِيرٌ. When Rasulullah speaks, Allah is backing him up, Jibreel is backing him up, the entire legions of angels are backing up. You better not mess with Rasulullah. But we know his sunnah. And his sunnah is, ﷺ, when he used to get upset, he used to become quiet. He used to become quiet. يعني أسرها كذلك في نفسه. He used to keep it in himself. أنتم شر مكانا. Now the last part, I know I've taken over my time, I'll take 2 more minutes inshallah ta'ala, I promise. Yusuf alayhi salam planted evidence and had his brother falsely arrested. That's a fact. If you say about anybody else that they planted evidence and they got somebody falsely arrested, you will say astaghfirullah. How could you do that? That is a crime. That is scheming. That's a kind of a lie. That's kitmanul shahada. It's hiding the testimony. It's a wrong thing to do. It can't be right because it's actually, it's a kind of deception. It's khud'ah. But then again, how is a prophet of Allah? How can a prophet of Allah, they're always supposed to speak the truth. They're always supposed to stand by justice. How can a prophet of Allah plant false evidence and then on top of that, boldly testify, I'm keeping him, I'm arresting him? When you don't understand this point, a lot of things are missed. One of the comments I made is family is complicated. And Allah Azza wa Jalla in His mercy, He gave us a religion that is realistic. It's not idealistic, it's realistic. Sometimes you have to keep things from family. Sometimes to save your mother from having a heart attack, you don't tell her that you lost your job. She says, how's work? And you say, everything is fine. Mom, everything is okay. That's okay. You have to do this. You can't say, I must speak the haqq. Mother, I lost the job. We don't have any money left for rent. I know you're a heart patient, but deal with it. You don't do that. You have to scheme sometimes for the better of the family. Sometimes you have to keep things secret for the better of the family. And if that wasn't clear and somebody thought about pointing the finger at Yusuf alayhi salam, what did Allah Azza wa Jalla do? كَذَلِكَ كِدْنَا لِيُوسُفَ. لم يقل كَذَلِكَ كَادَ يُوسُفَ. Instead of saying this is how Yusuf made the scheme, Allah says that is how we made the scheme for Yusuf. The scheme is from Allah. That plan is from Allah. Sometimes you have to keep things secret. Sometimes you have to use a little bit of trickery to save someone. And especially when the family situation is complicated, you have to use wisdom. You have to be able to answer Allah that you did it for the right reasons. Now some people will hear this khutbah and there's already a virus in their head. They wanted to use trickery all along, now they have a khutbah to justify it. You know? But for those of you that have a conscience, that understand hikmah, that understand the greater good, this is the practical reality of our religion. Even Allah explains, you know, He couldn't take him. In the constitution of the king that he lived, you couldn't just take an immigrant and give him asylum in the palace. You couldn't do it. So Yusuf could not even have said, can I keep this one with me? He had to come up with a scheme. Allah is justifying. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, and this is my favorite part, and I conclude. Allah Azza wa Jalla at the end of that ayah says, وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. And everyone, above everyone who has knowledge, there's someone who has more. We usually quote that ayah and talk about how every alim, there's a bigger alim. And everyone who knows, there's someone who knows more. And above them are the angels, and above it is Allah Azza wa Jalla, who knows everything. But why is it in this ayah? It is in this ayah because family situations, nobody knows them except that family. You cannot go outside and figure out what to do. If you look from the outside, oh my God, he planted evidence. He falsely got someone arrested, and you don't know the full situation. Allah says, basically to us, when there is a complicated family situation, don't just hear about somebody's family and say, how could they do this? How could they do that? Astaghfirullah, look at them. Look at their family. Look at this husband. Look at this wife. Look at this. You don't know. فَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. The family has privacy. They have things that are within their knowledge that you don't know. And you're not supposed to know. That is their matter. They don't give you a justification. Allah Azza wa Jalla Himself offered the justification in the Quran to let us know there is something going on behind the scenes. You need to learn to back off. Don't pry and don't pass judgment. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us of those who learn lessons from the book of Allah, and especially from the sunnah of His great messengers alayhi salatu wasalam. And may Allah Azza wa Jalla make us of those who can end conflicts in our family and be a source of peace and harmony for our families instead of being the source of trouble and disharmony in our families. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayat wa dhikr al-Hakim. الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على أفضلهم وخاتم النبيين محمد الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. يقول الله عز وجل في كتابه الكريم بعد أن أقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين